What's up, everybody? So today I want to do a project, and it's not something I see a lot of out there. So I want to show you guys how to and what it means to do a tune or tuning on your tires. So in my last video, I ran the course where the comp was. I would love to say I ran a comp, but again, wasn't there, so that's fine. But I went back and ran the course. From going down the week before, I noticed that all of his tires that he was running were Tusks. So I've never had a set of 1/24 Tusks before, so I picked a set up. And so I picked up a set. I got them, I think, Thursday, and then the comp was Sunday. So I really didn't have a lot of time with them, didn't have a lot of time to do any tuning on them. I guessed at the rear tires, made them a little bit softer. Front tires are a little different because you want conformity, but you also want a strong sidewall. I pretty much always run inserts in the 1/24s. They're like $11 for 4 of them, so it's really a no-brainer. And then all of mine are heavy. So if you're running a heavy 1/24th, then it also is a no-brainer to run inserts. Because the foams are just not going to support the truck as it needs. So we're going to talk about it for a second, show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll get into how we do it. So here we go. All right, so as you can tell, we are back in the kitchen here. So what I have here is my rig that I ran the comp with. And as you can see, the rears are pretty soft. I did cut those pretty good. They do have inserts. There's the green Endure inserts. There's Wyatt making all that clankety clank noise. So I did run the green Endure inserts in this front and rear. The rear is trimmed on the outside, and then the front is a little bit different, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But as you can tell with this, like that's fairly stiff. So I found when I was down there that I got a lot of bouncing. I didn't feel like the front tires really conformed much. And what I mean by conforming is, if you look at these on my Capra, you can see that they're pretty soft. You can see that you have a very large contact patch at the bottom of that. And that's exactly what you want in rock crawling. I do some full-size stuff, and I can promise you that we don't air up when we go rock crawling, we air down. I got into a pretty good conversation about that on one of the Facebook forums that I follow, and these guys are putting like 1.8s on a 1.0 tire or 1.3 tire and stretching it over. It's just, to me, it's ridiculous. So that's neither here nor there. Everybody's got their opinion, and frankly, different things work in different areas. So, but I don't know. For me personally, I run heavy rigs, and again, this is what I want. I want conformity and a big tire patch, because all that's going to do is when you roll up on a rock, like that's just going to grab all of that, and then the weight of the truck will help pull it over too. So before we talk too much longer and waste too much time, we'll go ahead and get into this, and I will show you what I'm talking about, and I'll pick up the video as I run across something that I want to show you. All right, so we've got our tire and wheel apart. So for me, and you can hit me with the water boy thing. The water boy is a cheater, cut his head off. But I run weight. So basically what you're looking at is a full-size 1.0 insert, and on the inside of it, I can't get them apart because they are very, very tight, but there is a 1.0 brass ring in there that is surrounded by a 1.3. And as you can tell on here across there, you can see that has been cut on the inside to accommodate the 1.3. Now you can do this, but you have to cut the inside of the insert, because if you don't, your tire will ride all wonky. Ask me how I know. So what I'm going to do is pretty much what is done on the rear of this, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this outer ring off. And then what that's going to do is it's going to give us a little bit more squish and a little bit more conformity on our wheel when we're rock crawling with it. So give me a second and I'll show you what that's going to look like. All right, so here's what we've done. We have cut this outer ring off, and it's going to make the outer diameter of this smaller, so it provides a little bit more room on the inside of this to make this tire conform a little bit better than what it would have previously. So let's get it back together. We'll take the other side off, which is still on there, and then we'll compare the two and see what we've done. Okay, so one of these is done, and the other one is about to be done. So as you can see with this one, kind of pushing on the edge of that, you can see that there's a pretty good amount of conformity to it. I would truthfully like a little bit more, but I really can't go a whole lot more on that insert. So, and then you can see this one, like there's almost no conformity to it at all. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll get this one done, and then we'll get it back on the truck and go run a couple lines with it. All right, so we're out here back behind the house, and this is a line that like nothing can just crawl. And this probably is not going to get it done either. But it's like every time I change something, I bring it out here. Just to see if by some miracle it will actually crawl it. That's pretty good. That's probably the most crawly that I've ever gotten that done. So, all right, well that's a good sign then. I didn't think about it, but I guess we could see how this goes. Hey, we made it. All right. And yes, I do need mulch. So I don't have enough followers to be monetized on YouTube yet, so it would certainly help if you guys would share this, so I might get there someday. And then I could buy some mulch. It's pretty good. And spoiler alert, this never ends well, so let's try something different. Uh-oh. Hey! All right, well, that's going to do it for this one. So I hope you learned something. If you have any questions about it, about how I do it or anything like that, then hit me up in the comments, and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. So I did bring up the cut and shut thing because that is actually going to be my next video. So I did just do these. I've had some pretty good luck with them. Had them out a couple of times. I haven't had any issues with them. So I'm going to share how to do that and some tips that I have learned from doing it in all of the entire one sets that I've built. So, all right, well, that is it. Be sure to like, subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content, and I appreciate it. And you guys have a great day.